Live from WonderCon in Anaheim, it's the Nighttime Show podcast. And it's me, your host. Hey, it's me, Stephen Kramer Glickman. Yo, America!
Well, just to explain to the listeners what's going on, we were at WonderCon in Anaheim, and you hosted a panel with voice actors.
This is a special event. This was a special event, and what a wonderful event it was. There were so many incredibly...
Some former guests.
Yeah, we had some former guests on the show. We had some new folks
Some
on
future guests.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, let's talk about some of these wonderful people. We had David Sobolov on the show, who plays Gorilla Groot on The Flash on CW. We had Julie Nathanson, who's on Far Cry. Daniel Ross, who is most recently, he's Donald Duck, which is amazing. Debi Derryberry, who is Jimmy Neutron, boy genius. She's been Jimmy Neutron the whole time. We have Bill Farmer, who's a dear friend of ours, who's the voice of Goofy and the voice of Pluto. And, of course, the one and only E.G. Daily is also there. And it was so nice getting to sit next to her in front of a sold-out, packed room. How many people you think were in that room?
Probably 150.
You think there's only 150? Felt like a lot more than that.
I don't know. Well,
gotta be more than that.
Well, I'm not an expert in audience sizes. What are you asking me for?
Hang on a second. We don't even fit 150 people in the improv.
Yeah, we get 200 in the improv.
There's more than 200 people in that room.
I don't know. I didn't count. I was in the back recording.
Hang on, let me ask you. Hey! Hang on, we're going to find out. Hang on.
Just grabbing some random person who's not going to know the answer.
Do you know how many people fit into that big giant room next door? The one of the big
300D.
300D. Do you have any idea how many that capacity is?
He's got no idea.
No idea. 200?
He said 200. See, there you go.
200. Suck on that, Matt.
That was my estimate about that.
Oh, you think you're a big deal, Matt.
Yes. Well, we can stop rambling and let people listen to the panel.
All right, guys, check out this panel right now at live from WonderCon. Good afternoon and welcome to the greatest voices in animation and games. WonderCon 2019. How we doing, everybody? How we doing? I am very excited to be here. We have an incredible lineup, wonderful, wonderful people. Are you guys excited? Are you excited? All right, well, I'm going to introduce myself real quick before I bring everybody else up. You guys may know me. My name is Stephen Kramer Glickman. I'm the host of the Nighttime Show, but some of you guys may know me as Pigeon Toady from the animated film Storks, or as Gustavo Rock from the Nickelodeon series Big Time Rush. That is my two big credits. They're both fun, and they're both very silly. But these people who are on our panel today are absolutely incredible. As a animation fan myself, I am honored to be friends with a few of them. There's a few that I just got to meet today for the first time, and you guys are going to get to meet them today, and it's going to be incredible. Are you guys excited? Are you excited? Are you ready? All right, WonderCon, let's bring up our first guest. Our first guest today, best known as Donald Duck on Mickey Mouse and the Roadster Racers on Disney Junior, Daniel Ross, everybody. Give it up. Next, we've got this guy is a very special friend, a really wonderful guy. He has played Goofy for the last 30 years. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Farmer, everybody. Hi, buddy. How are you? This next guy is incredible. I know a lot of you guys watch him as Gorilla Groot on The Flash on CW. David Sobolov, everybody. This next guest, huge fan. Just got to meet her today for the first time, and I totally nerded out, and I'm sure you guys will too. You guys know her as Jimmy Neutron from Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, Debi Derryberry. Our next guest plays a character that I have played numerous times in Far Cry. I'm such a huge fan of her role as Jess Black in Far Cry. Ladies and gentlemen, Julie Nathanson, everybody. And finally, one of my favorite movies of all time. She starred as Dottie in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, but many of you loved her as Babe in Babe Pig in the City. Ladies and gentlemen, E.G. Daly!
Hi, guys.
So this is our panel. Give it up for them.
You're live.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to start by going down the line here. I want to start with Daniel Ross. Daniel, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. What's up, WonderCon? How's everybody doing? I always wanted to do that.
Now, Daniel, you have played Donald Duck on numerous different shows. How did you end up getting cast in such an iconic role? How did that come about?
Well, a long series of events. I auditioned, and I eventually got the role. It opened up about 3 years ago for Mickey and the Roadster Racers, and subsequently for Chippendale's Nutty Tales, and some things I can't talk about. But yeah, that's the main focus right now is those shows, and I'm having a great time.
That is amazing, man.
How long had you been doing that squawky duck
how
voice?
long have you been doing the voice for?
I have been doing the voice since I was a little kid. My mom actually taught me how to do it when I was very young, and she would tuck me in at night, and she would say,
"Oh, Daniel, I love you so much."
And I would say,
"Oh, Mom, I love you too."
And we would go back and forth, and it was a thing between her and myself, and a trick for friends. And lo and behold, here we are doing it for Disney.
And I was there during that audition.
You were there!
He came to my studio, and we worked it together to make him perfect and bookable.
Because if you don't know, Debi Derryberry is a wonderful voiceover coach, as well as my friend David Sobolov here, who does private classes as well, in case anyone is interested.
It's so amazing. Is it really, for those of you who teach it, do you feel like what type of instincts do people have to be able to become a good voiceover actor or actress?
Stupid.
Two things.
They have to be stupid.
Yeah. Rich parents help.
I think you have to.
It takes a while to get into this business, so that helps a lot.
I think you have to be willing to seem crazy. Like, really be willing and interested in the whole experience of goofing off and seeming ridiculous. Are you guys like that? I love you.
And mostly you have to be an actor, like voice actor,
yeah.
that part of the voice actor part.
Yeah, it's not voice acting, it's voice acting.
See, for me, I like to play characters rather than do voices. Voices are great to have,
right,
but you have to tell the story, and you have to be that person, and that involves a little bit of acting, as you say.
You have a great voice.
What type of training have you guys had? Let's take a walk down this row. When it comes to acting training, what are we talking about here?
So you're saying like not necessarily for just voiceover, but like acting?
Not for voiceover, just as an
so
actor
like,
itself.
Okay,
like,
so
how did you study?
Hi guys, I'm E.G. Hi. Anyway, so like for me, I started doing a lot of on-camera acting, right? So I did a lot of movies. I was Dottie in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and I was in Valley going a bunch of movies. But I also sang my whole life, so I knew that I could do something with my voice. I knew that there was something about my voice that I could change my voice around. And I really loved imitating people, so watch out. I really loved listening to people's voices and just trying to mimic them. And then all of a sudden I did a play where I had to do all these different voices, and someone heard me at this play and was like, wow, you do all these, you do this thing with your voice. And I was like, yeah. I didn't think anything of it, and then I started working in voiceover from that moment on. So I think the question was, the studying for me...
Yeah, when it comes to studying...
Was I had just been an actor. I'd been studying as an actor my whole life. I was in classes. I also studied as a singer. I really worked my voice up so that when it came time to figure out a voice for a character, my voice could just kind of twist up and become whatever that thing was that I needed to be, because one, I knew how to act, and two, I knew how to play with my voice from all the singing. So I think it's a combination of all kinds of ways you use your voice.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. What about you, Bill?
Actually, I trained professionally. I guess my college degree was in broadcast journalism. I kicked around in radio for a number of years, which was great because it was a little podunk stations and they didn't care, so do whatever you want. And so I'd start coming in and bringing in characters just to keep from being bored. And I do Wolfman Jack. I do the whole show as Wolfman Jack. And they go, hey, Wolfman's on our station. I didn't know about copyright or anything. And then I did about 6 years of stand-up comedy, starting in '82 back in Dallas. And I started with people like Bill Engvall and Sam Kinison and all of those guys. And that was the best training ever, because if you can do stand-up, I think you can do anything in this business. And that was probably the best. And also just playing around as a kid with voices and trying to impress my friends and that kind of thing.
Yeah, one of the proudest moments of I've been hosting the nighttime show for 3 years now, which is a show at the Hollywood Improv in Los Angeles. And Bill came on the show and did stand up on the show. Followed Dane Cook and just crushed, just absolutely crushed. And it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was your first time on that stage, Bill, in
probably 30 years. Yeah.
Oh, it was so amazing, just unbelievable. All right, let's keep going. Let's go down the row. Who do we got?
Me.
There we go.
First
Debbie.
of all, it is really great to see all you guys out there. Thank you for being here.
Revive Jimmy Neutron!
Woo woo! Go Blast! So let's see. I've been acting all my life in community theater from when I was 8. I've always been a singer and writing songs like Eej, and I decided not to go to med school after college. My dad was so pleased. I said, I'm going to Nashville. He was so happy not. So I just was a session singer doing kids' voices. No one would hire me to sing like a grown-up. So I moved back to LA, and so my voiceover training, again, is from theater and from singing. And then on the job training, I just started doing VO right when I got to LA. And in fact, Chuck McCann taught me how to cry like a baby. We were in the studio once. And
really?
They said, yeah.
What did he do to you?
He said, we need a baby cry. And then I was like, I don't know nothing about baby crying. So he's like, you just go like this. I'm like, thank you so much. So I'll put that in my wheelhouse. So a lot of on-the-job training, too, but first and foremost, acting and singing.
I love it. All right, heading down from you, Julie Nathanson, yes?
Hi. Yeah. I mean,
when it comes to training,
yeah.
Julie, I'm just trying to see.
No,
that.
It's good. It's just as a performer, you actually just never know who you are that day. So I might have been someone else. Yes, I went an academic route for a good portion of my studying. I started studying classical singing when I was 16.
A real actor.
Real actor. Like, I don't want to show off or anything. Like, I'm super real. I went to Tufts University for undergraduate school, and I was a drama major and did plenty of shows there. I was part of the College Light Opera Company. I studied classical opera at, as opposed to the rock opera that you can study so much at New England Conservatory of Music. But so between classical singing and quite a bit of acting training over the years, I was lucky enough to start a career on camera very quickly after I graduated from college. And my start in voiceover, are you going to get to this later and I'm spoiling a question?
No, you're
okay,
fine.
Cool. So I started out doing things like soap operas, which they don't happen anymore, but they did. And I wanted to see what the fans thought of me. And this is before anyone said, don't read the comments. So I read the comments. And somebody said, you know, she's real pretty and all, but I have to turn the volume off because it's like Alvin and the Chipmunks have invaded my living room.
Oh my God.
And I was like, first, you, second. That sounds like a great career. So I pursued voiceover, and I spoke with my agents. I was lucky enough to be represented at the time, and I said, I I think I can probably maybe do this voiceover thing because I can manipulate my voice, and I've also been, I don't know, training with acting forever, and it was a really quick match. So a lot of it for me was learning on the job. Nobody growing up taught me to cry. My child taught me to cry. Like he was a good baby, and then I can. But otherwise,
I learned before I had my kid.
Before the babies.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I had him, I could communicate
then you
fully.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's like a language. So yeah, it's a combination of learning by being thrown into the fire and reading about fire.
I love it. Amazing. What about you, David Sobolov? David Sobolov.
Hi.
What was your training like?
Well, I was a French horn player. I used to do pit orchestras. And then I toured with an a cappella group singing. There we go. We're still recording. Okay. Then I went to the Neighborhood Playhouse Acting School and studied with Sanford Meisner. So very classical kind of training. Then I ended up back in Vancouver, and voice acting found me. Someone saw me do a play, and an agent said, "Come do villains." And they kept encouraging me with a paycheck, so I kept doing it. And eventually, I realized that was what I was destined to do with my life.
I love it. I love it. And Daniel, yes.
So
what was your training like?
I jumped all over the place. I started studying musical theater in community college. I started doing some comedy sports, improvisation, and I really enjoyed that. But I kind of caught the acting bug for film, and I lived in the D.C. Baltimore area for most of my life, and it was really difficult to get anything substantial outside of extra work or being a stand-in for features. So my buddy Justin Timpane and I, we said, you know what, we're gonna buy the Quick Stop and do this ourselves. So we started producing our own schlocky independent horror comedies, starting with Ninjas vs. Zombies and going all the way through Ninjas vs. Monsters, which you can find on Amazon Prime. So yeah, I went from musical theater to on-camera acting to film production, which would facilitate the acting, and then writing so that I could produce, so that I could act. And I guess, 13 years ago, started dabbling in voiceover. I wanted to get a demo done, and I'm like, yeah, I really wish I knew somebody who could do that. And I reached out to this guy named David Sobolov, and he happened to produce voiceover demos, and I had just enough money to do that. And he was kind enough to give me the best one I've had that really started my career.
Amazing.
So here we are.
Awesome.
So here's a question I have for you guys. So a lot of you guys do voices that are very, very recognizable. Is there a voice that you get recognized for the most often? And who do you get asked to do most often? E.G., let's start with you.
Baby's gotta do what a baby's gotta do. Tommy Pickle, hold on, your diapers were going in. One of those.
And also, I would
Rugrats,
say,
of course. Come
Rugrats.
on.
And then listen, Mojo Jojo, I'm gonna whoop your hiney. Buttercup.
Yeah.
Gosh, nothing comes to mind right now. Let's see.
Does it, Does it ever bother you when people ask you to do it, and do you ever kind of go, "Oh, not right, like right"? I'm in the grocery store.
No, I'm glad that people still care. I've been doing this for 32 years, and I'm just, you still like it after all this time. No, I'm delighted that anyone even cares. So, but yeah, that's been. He's obviously the big one. So.
One of my favorite Bill Farmer things is that not only are you Goofy, but you're also Pluto.
Yeah. Whoa! Yeah, Pluto gets for. I kind of have a corner on the Disney dog, so over Disney.
So amazing! I love it. What about Debbie? When it comes to voices, what's the voice that people try to pull out of you the most?
Let me think. Brain blast! It's Jimmy Neutron, pretty much, unless you watch F is for Family.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Then
you're
they want
Maureen
Bridget.
on F
Bridget
is for
has
Family.
2 normal words, and the rest are swear words.
Oh my God. That's
Thank
gotta
you,
be,
Jimmy Neutron fans.
That's got to be such a huge deal. I mean, working on F is for Family with Bill Burr has got to be a blast.
It's pretty great. I get to play his daughter and his neighbor and his daughter's girlfriend and his son's girlfriend and his daughter's boyfriend. No, Bill is pretty great. It's a very funny show. If you guys are easily offended, please do not watch. Otherwise, do watch it. It's pretty raunchy and good fun.
That's
it's about
awesome.
growing up in the 70s, like they get their first answering machine. Remember those? You guys weren't born yet.
Yeah, to be Jimmy Neutron for kids, and then for those kids to grow up and be able to watch you on F is for Family, it's pretty amazing. That's pretty incredible.
It's interesting. The kids that watched, Goofy back then, and Rugrats and Jimmy Neutron, you guys are having kids now. It's a beautiful thing. You just keep those kids growing and liking our shows. We like it. John Bailey, have another.
What about you, Julie? What's a role that you get recognized for that people ask you to do a lot?
You know, it's funny. For a while, it was Chocolina from Final Fantasy 13 to Enlightening Returns. I think because people wanted me to annoy them with Chocobocolina. But then people started figuring out that I'm also Samantha Maxis in Call of Duty Black Ops. So that's fun because people want to apparently get frightened of me. So it's more like, pocket full of poison! Like that.
Love it.
Did you see that great skill, how she pulled back from the mic so you guys would still have your ears? That was pretty great.
Good technique.
Nice technique.
That's a pro right there, folks. That's a pro. David, what about you?
Well, my deal is that I'm the opposite of Julie because a lot of my characters, it's up to the sound people to make them really big. So Gorilla Grodd on The Flash, I've been doing that for about 5 years, and you almost whisper it. Grodd, hate banana. And they just blow it up huge. Hi. Hello. Hello, my darling.
That was great.
And then Transformers Prime, Shockwave, he's kind of similar too because you'd think he's really big and booming. He's small and booming, really. And they both have catchphrases, which is good. That's why people want to hear them. So Shockwave, I would say, come close. If I see you at a convention like this and you want to hear Transformers Prime, Shockwave, I'd say, Daniel, you are logical. Yes.
So great.
Okay.
I need a minute. The thing, David, it's got to be like on a regular daily basis that people just come up to you and go, "You have such a great voice." Like I feel like in Uber, if you're taking an Uber, they're just gonna be like, "You're really missing out. You should be doing voice." Like just that's the voice.
Yeah. No, it used
like
to be you should be doing
day.
voice. It used to be you should be doing voice, and now I swear I'm not a conceited person. I'm not, but I have. It seems to be around 60-year-old women in stores or in restaurants, and they say, "Can you say something to me?" They just want me to say something.
Oh yeah,
Anything.
they can feel it all right.
Yeah. Hey, baby. Yeah.
I got to work on my deep voice.
I can
That's
feel
funny.
it down here.
60-year-old men say that to me.
me
Can you just
too.
say something to me?
Me too.
Here, say this. No, in that really little voice.
Daniel, what about you? With doing Donald Duck, people got to be asking you to do that voice on a pretty regular basis.
don't know.
It's a little uncomfortable when you're in the bathroom and people ask.
The guy standing next to you, do Goofy, do Donald. Wrong place.
Excuse me? I'm trying to do some business here.
Between that, I do frequently get asked for some Starscream back from 2007's Transformers movie. So Decepticons, this is Starscream. Make for the rendezvous point. The Allspark will soon be ours. Yeah, I get that sometimes. More often than not, voiceover impressions, celebrities. I tend to do a lot of Ed Wynn for some reason. It's one of those things. I don't get it. Or, sometimes some Bobcat Goldthwait.
I love it.
Like I said, you have to be willing to be ridiculous.
So great.
But I would love to say, coming up, just today, I can announce I'm on the Tom and Jerry show as a character named Rutger,
who's a little German mouse, and he gets pitched up a little bit, but he's so cute.
Very good. Yeah.
So, starting now, season 3, which is on Boomerang of the Tom and Jerry Show, and look for a couple more seasons of this character.
Wow. Yeah. Amazing. Come on, that's a huge deal, guys. I did a little digging through everyone's credits because you guys have each of you guys have hundreds of credits. But first credit, IMDb, E.G. Daily. Do you know what your first credit is?
No idea.
Your first credit on IMDb says that you were on a show called Jukebox. Is that true?
I have no idea.
It says you were dancing on Jukebox.
Yeah, that was me. I was dancing on Jukebox with Raptor. I have no idea.
No, with something like Rugrats, watching your friendship with the people that were on that show, I've gotten to hang out with you and Tara Strong together and
guys
see
know
what you
Tara
guys are
Strong?
like.
She's awesome.
It's an extraordinary
It's
thing.
pretty funny.
What's it like to work with someone and then be friends with them for many, many years like this? It's gotta be
so
incredible.
all these people like Debbie and I. Debbie and I have been friends so long that she actually cut the cord for my babies, and I cut the cord for her son. So we've been friends a long time. Tara's
Our
like one
husbands
of
turned green.
Yeah, they turned green, so we had to take care of each other. But Tara, and Tara too, we all hang out, and if you follow our Instagrams, you'll see all kinds of crazy videos of us singing at home and having parties, and it's unreal because, and Daniel, we hang out with Daniel and Bill, it's a really sweet career because we do hang out. Nobody's snobby or too snobby for the next, and we do social things, and you're together for so many years on so many different projects that it's so beautiful,
Yeah, and what I love about it is there's such a support system. It doesn't feel like there's jealousy between VO people. It feels like everyone's very supportive of each other.
Because even if you're
and there are people that will just if you don't feel you're right for a character, you might say, "Oh, David does it," or Debbie does that character. Call her; she does a great one. So
one came in the other day, and I'm like, I can do this, but you know who could do this? Caitlin Robrock. And I called her, and I'm like, Caitlin, you need to audition for this. And she did, and she booked it.
Mm-hmm. Hell yes.
Right on.
That's great.
I paid off your car. But because voiceover is, we love each other, and we're a small group. And I love all of you guys who came, and there's just no backstabbing involved.
Julie
really
tweeted something the other day about this. Can you tell them?
I
Did you
did.
see it?
That's really sweet. There was one of those little Twitter things where you're supposed to quote tweet it, and then woo, everybody's interested. And it was unpopular opinion voiceover edition, and I said, other voice actors aren't your competition. They are your inspiration.
Yeah, so true.
That's right.
I
mean, just to be Debbie and I. Debbie and I will call each other every day and be like, "Did you read for this? Did you read for that? Here's this role. You should read for that." That's how cool it is for the same roles.
I was having agent trouble, and I was like, when you're in theatrical stuff, in acting on camera, you can ask all the other actors you want and go, I'm trying to get a new agent, and the chance that another actor is going to get you hook you up with their agent is next to impossible. It almost never ever happens. Am I right? It's
it's true.
Almost impossible.
It's true.
On camera, it doesn't.
Oh, yeah, not on camera.
Yeah, but for voiceover, I was like, I got to leave my VO agent, and I was trying to figure out what to do, and I called Tara Strong, and she was like, come over, let's talk about it. And I went over, we had this great chat, and I did a bunch of voices in the living room for her, like a big nerd, and she ended up getting me signed at her agency, and they have been amazing, totally life-changing type situation. It went from auditioning, I was auditioning with this agent once to twice a month, and now it's 4 to 5 times a week.
Awesome.
And it's I had to get a little home studio. It was so amazing, and I really felt like that's the voiceover community kind of being there for each other and trying to hook it up. And I love
I just want to piggyback on that really quick and just acknowledge that the entirety of this panel have been amazing components of my life out here in Los Angeles and beyond. Debi Derryberry has been a very dear friend. E.G. Yeah, exactly. Bill Farmer, I met at WonderCon 2014. I was sitting in the audience and looking up at the stage and going, oh man, I really wish I could work with him someday. And here we are. And of course, David Sobolov, good dear friend for a very long time. Julie Nathanson pulled me out of something very dark that was passing through my life and was there for me. And it's an amazing community of people, and you peel back the curtain from all the funny voices and all the fronts, and it's just a wonderful community. It's amazing to be here.
Yeah, it's
And
like
my
an
second
extended
row.
family.
This
Yeah.
whole second row has been in my swimming pool.
Love it.
And then the fourth row. Okay, third.
All right, Bill Farmer.
Yes, yes.
You did some research.
Oh, my
IMDb, first credit on IMDb, Bill Farmer, the movie RoboCop.
Yes, yes. You remember that, RoboCop? Oh, my gosh. That was about 3 months before I got the audition with Goofy. I lived in Dallas at the time, just before I moved out here. And it was just one of those auditions, and they wanted a news reporter. And it's so weird in that movie. I got the part of an on-the-camera, so on the street reporter, and there's 2 scenes in the movie where it's just me and the camera. And I got to tell you, that was so terrifying because I'd never been on a big movie before. And I remembered to this day, it's burned in my memory. My scene was, there was a guy they're holding the mayor hostage, and my speech was, terrorism has never been a factor in this city's politics before. But all that changed today when former city councilman Ron Miller entered City Hall with a gun. He's now upstairs in a second-floor office holding Mayor Clifford Gibson and members of his personal staff hostage. It is believed that he has killed one or more of the hostages. Lieutenant Hedgecock, what's next? And by that time, I'd never had to... Thank you.
Come on, WonderCon!
No, but I had to... Now, on a set, I had the camera. They had cars screaming in behind me. We'd waited all day. It was like 1:30 in the morning. It was like 95 degrees in Dallas. Peter Weller in the RoboCop outfit was like dying after every take. They'd blow air up his sleeve so he wouldn't faint. And I hit my mark real early, so... Paul Verhoeven was the director, and he said, okay, cut this, and this lines. Okay, let's go. And I'm going, crap, I've been studying this for 3 weeks. So the look in the movie is actually sheer terror, but yes, that was, we got through it.
I absolutely love it. Debi Derryberry, did a little research on you. First credit on IMDb. Do you know what it is?
No clue.
General Electric Carousel of Progress.
At Disneyland.
Right, at Disney World. Disney World. I think it's at Disney Land.
I don't know.
Wait,
Disney
what
World.
year was that?
I'm not saying the year.
It's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. That one. No,
Yeah.
I did. You know what? I was sitting in that ride with my son because we were so hot at Disney World. And I've got to take a break. Where's the coolest ride in the park? And we sat down and watched this thing. And I had forgotten. My little kid, Sonny, I think he was 5 years old at the time, he's like, that sounds like you, Mom. I'm like, yeah, that's me.
Oh, my God. I love it. That's so
That was so funny. And is it still on? That's
I
so
didn't know that.
crazy. And it was with, what was Gordon Hunt's wife's name?
Oh, gosh. I don't know where my wallet is. How can I get out of it?
The wife. Anyway, it was a whole bunch of good people. And yeah, that is crazy.
I love it.
We were just talking about, how Bill did that line and he memorized it. The thing about voiceover is that you don't have to memorize it, which I love so much. So anytime I have a commercial on camera roll, I can tell you what the words were because it takes so much work to memorize it. Like on camera actors,
with you forever.
They can memorize stuff. But no, I want to read it.
Much
I wanna
easier.
read
Much
it.
easier.
Less anxiety, no deer in the headlights when the camera comes on you.
That is scary.
Memorization.
Frighten someone.
All right, Julie Nathanson.
I'm a little
scared. Did a little research, found out, first credit, IMDb. Do you know what it is?
No.
Pole dancing?
Yes! No.
It is Beverly Hills 90210.
Really?
Yeah, that happened. It was one of my, it was a long time ago, before you guys were born. The original Beverly Hills 90210, I played Ellen Fogarty in season 7. I was the sorority president for Donna and company. And it was a pretty wild way to enter on camera. It was one of my first jobs. It's the first one that shows up there. But I, of course, had been an avid viewer of the show. And then there I was, walk down the hallway and see the people that I was just watching and had to be really cool about it. And it was really fun. They were very accommodating and lovely, and I was recurring on the 7th season. It was lovely.
I love it. Amazing. David, went back to your first credit. Your first credit on IMDb is Ogre Slayer. Does that sound?
It sounds like something I'd play.
Does that sound?
That was
sounds
an anime.
Like a stretch for you.
I know it was an anime. I have no recollection
Was that a
of it.
porno?
Well,
Sorry.
What is?
David, what do you remember
Ogre
as your
Slayer.
first credit, David? What do you remember as your first big thing?
there was. It's not my first credit, but my first memorable credit to me after a couple of great video games that I did very early on. Like, you didn't have a lot of voice in the 90s in video games, but I did a couple. Homeworld, does anyone remember that? The video game? Yeah, I had a big part in that. But then we did Vortec. Did anybody see that on Fox many, many years ago? Vortec? You did.
Kellen saw
you weren't born
everything.
yet, Kellen. You saw it later. Yeah, that
RoboCop.
Well, I did RoboCop around that time, yeah, just a little bit after that. The animated series that no one saw.
And who were you?
I was RoboCop. No, around that time, let's see, Ogre Slayer, and there was another anime that I did where I remember the character, he spat marbles in people's eyes and put their eyes out.
Holy God.
Yeah, that was, I don't remember the title.
So it was My Little Pony? That was the show? That's what it was. I love it. Okay, here's one. Daniel Ross, first credit was Head of State with Chris Rock.
That's right.
Is that right?
That was a very long. That was 2003, I think. It was around the time I got my SAG card, and I had just started jumping into on-camera work. It was just some stand-in and extra work. It wasn't anything particularly big, but I did get to hang out with Chris Rock and Bernie Mac at the time, which was incredible. I had a stunt that actually got cut from the film where something happens and I flail papers and I slip on something, and it was a whole ordeal, and I didn't see it in the DVD or the extras, so I was sad face. But yeah, the Head of State up in Baltimore many, many years ago.
Wow, amazing. I love it. Hey guys, it is time for us to take some questions from the audience.
Yeah.
If you guys want to get in a single file line behind the microphone back there. The microphone is right in the middle of the room. I don't know why. But head on over. Go.
while
I
you're
love
heading
you
over-
guys.
love your questions.
Ask
You
some
can
good
follow
questions.
us all on social media. That
Yes.
would rock.
Yes.
And we're going to sign autographs after this at a table.
Absolutely. We'll get everybody's social media handle so everyone knows. But we got to get some questions. I mean, this is such a great audience. I mean, give yourselves a round of applause. You guys are amazing. It's the kind of audience I love. All right, first question.
Okay.
Make it a good one.
Okay, no pressure. So, first of all, I love all of you. And this is for Bill. So, Goofy has like a crazy emotional range from like empty nest syndrome to yelling about Potato Land. So, do you have any rules for yourself to make sure he's still Goofy no matter what he's doing?
You know, it depends on what the incarnation of Goofy is. Like the classic Goofy is a little different than, say, the Mickey Mouse shorts or in Kingdom Hearts. So it's just a matter of degrees, but the voice is pretty much the same. And once the personality is set in stone, then you can play with the voice a little bit and it still rings true. So generally, it's kind of funny with voices. The first couple of years, I was doing an impression of Goofy, what I did on the audition. But until you own a character, and there's kind of comes an epiphany where you go, oh, I know the character. And from that point on, whatever I said as Goofy sounded like it came from him, because the emotion's there. It's the emotional life of the character you have to really discover. And once you have that, the voice follows. And if the emotional life is a little different in project to project, he sounds a little bit different, but it still sounds true to the character.
Good question. Well done.
you.
Round of applause, guys. Round of applause. Hey, quick question, Bill, about Goofy.
Yeah.
Are you contracted as Goofy across the board for everything?
I have been so far, but it's still a day player thing. So they could use a new person anytime they want, but they haven't so far. And it's been 32
He's
years.
not mean, so they keep him.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
it.
And I've got
Amazing.
pictures of certain people, so, I'll never get it.
There we
Hey,
go.
Bill,
Now
how
we're-
many
now we're
different,
getting
how
to
many
it.
individual episodes have you done of that character, do you
The
think?
best I can figure so far is about 3,500.
Wow.
Oh my God.
So that's since
That's
January
so
of 1987. And I'm getting really old.
All right, next question.
Okay, so I know you have the talent to do this and would make a lot of profit doing this, but if you didn't have the reason for money, what would make you want to do this if money wasn't involved?
I like telling stories.
Yeah.
And I love it when I come to a convention like this and someone comes up to me and something I did meant something to them. I've had every convention, there's one person that comes up to me that makes me have to go in the back and cry a little bit. And I'm not even kidding. And I'm not saying because it's just very emotional sometimes what people go through. We never realize that when we flap our lips in Burbank, what's going to come out. And it really can change people's lives.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of us on stage that are theater actors that grew up doing theater and that was the original training, like you don't get paid for theater mostly. No. Even if you're on Broadway, the money is like very, very low. So like it becomes a love of the art, not as much not a love of the money, but it's good to be able to get paid to do what you love. And to do something fun, for a living is so much fun.
If I could piggyback on that, when you do an on-camera job and you're on a series, you have what's called your quote. My day rate is, I will do that for $27,000 a day. Voice actors, we pretty much work for scale. We love what we do. There's a SAG day player contract, and that's what we work for. I've been doing it for 30 years. It's great fun. It's great people, and if we had this conversation on the way up in the car, AG was like, what would you do if you had just unlimited money? I'm like, probably the same thing.
Yeah.
I like it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's fun being different people. It's fun just playing. Just like you get to play. Just like coming to a con, you get to dress up. Like nobody's paying you to dress up, but it gives you joy. So that's what it's like.
Yeah. 90% of this is auditioning and getting the job. The 10% and the gravy is performing.
Which means you have
that's
to
what we do
love
it for, the
auditioning.
love of it.
Yeah, you have to love auditioning, and nobody's paying us to audition. I'll just add that.
No more questions?
Oh, we have one question. We were allowed one question left. There was supposed to be one last one.
First one to run to the...
Go!
Well, you're coming up.
Oh! We got one! All right. Ask away, buddy. Last question.
There is a
I love
tremendously...
that you guys ran for that, though. God bless all of you.
And then I have one thing to say.
All right.
Okay. But there's a tremendously rich history with voice acting. If you were to be transported back in time, who would you have loved to have been the voice for?
Ooh.
I don't... Jeez. Does it work that way, guys? I would love to meet Mel Blanc.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't want to do any of the voices because those were his, but I would love to meet him and tap into some of that creativity, that raw creativity that he inspired generations for. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I'm old enough.
I would want to be at the corner of, Sunset and Vine, where the old NBC studios were for the radio, and go into...
Oh, yeah.
It was Jack Benny on NBC? Jack Benny. 1943 or something, to be in that audience or even to be on stage and do that show with him would be amazing.
Those would have been incredible,
I think we're all going to be hard-pressed to give you a name of someone that we sort of wish we could be or imitate. And I'll just say that I do a lot of voice matching, which is, just basically being a mimic. And, I as soon as Daniel started talking, I thought, well, who would it be for me? Who would I want to meet somebody? What would I want? And I started thinking, well, Judy Garland, I really like her Dorothy voice. And then I realized, well, I imitate that all the time. I mean, there's no place like home. There's no place. And it's not even the best imitation, but it's fun. And the thing is, that's one thing you get to do with voiceover, is you actually get to allow perhaps a performance to continue, perhaps by imitation, or perhaps by inspiration, or simply by sitting in your home, in your living room, and bouncing voices back and forth. You're keeping characters alive. So I feel like that already is what we do, if that makes sense.
I drive by J Ward, where J Ward Studios used to be on Sunset Boulevard a lot, and every time I drive by, I got to meet a bunch of the original animators from the studio there a couple years ago, and hearing what it was like to become a voiceover actor during that time period of the original, like Rocky and Bullwinkle, it was literally, if you you would just walk in off the street and be like, "I do voices," and they'd go, "All right." And then you would just have a job. You just have a job then. And I was like, oh my God, just to be able to walk in there and meet all of those people and like see that studio at that time when it was just starting. That would be so cool.
I was very fortunate. I got to take classes from Dawes Butler when I first came out to California. And he was incredible. And I met Mel Blanc and, June Foray and worked with her and all of those people. And they were. But to be at that era in the mid probably 60s, late 50s, when, it was a very small, eclectic group of amazing actors that got together and put these shows together. That would have been cool to be involved with that.
Debbie, I know you wanted to say.
So before I answer that question, I want to quickly say that ASIFA is the organization that brought us. ASIFA, if you don't know, are the people that make the Annie Awards that vote for animation things. And you guys may not know this, but you can be in ASIFA. You can just join, and you can vote for us. You can vote for all your favorite people. They have a table out there.
You should. You should absolutely go to the table and sign up.
And it's very affordable. And so there's my little plug for ASIFA and the Annie Awards. And they welcome
mixers.
All of you.
You can come and meet the members.
Yeah, like we go to the meeting. I'm being porky. You can go to the meetings, and we're just hanging out at the meetings. We're mostly drunk, but so ASIFA Annie's Awards.
There's liquor all kinds more.
And how about a round of applause for David Derks for putting this all
together? Absolutely.
Come on!
Stand up!
Come on, David.
Where's our table? Where can they
beautiful man. Look at this beautiful guy. You're kidding me?
So what is the thing they do to go join ASIFA? Where are downstairs? Just go down the stairs and they're in it.
1611. Sign up, and then you'll get even closer to the voiceover community, which is so cool.
So to answer that question, thank you, David, by the way. We do a lot of stuff called looping. It's a post-production job where you, like in Toy Story or
Recess. Or
any of these movies that I loop, Zootopia, we go in after the fact and we put in, like, who voiced all those candy corns in the racetrack on Wreck-It Ralph?
Me and Deb.
Yeah. So I would have liked to loop all the Shirley Temple movies, I think.
Well, that would have been cool.
Oh, wow.
That's what I would want to do. I mean, your point was very well taken.
I didn't even mention that Debbie is the voice of all the aliens in Toy Story inside the crane.
The crane.
Yeah,
pick me.
That.
So amazing.
I was
So
a
much
little
to
yellow
talk
guy.
about with you guys. We need 2 hours. Okay, please tell everybody where they can find you on social media. E.g., please
Hi, guys.
start.
So I'm Real E.G. Daily. Come follow me. You can ask questions if you have questions about voiceover or you want to just ask a question. I answer my messages. So it's Real E.G. Daily on Instagram and Twitter. Facebook's out there too, but you'll get a hold of me faster on Instagram and Twitter.
Okay. At Goofy Bill on Twitter and Instagram, Goofy Bill. I have a company. I teach lessons too, have for about 5 years,
He's
and
really
actually have
good.
been for about 20-some years. Real days. But anyway, Toonhouse, TOONHOUSE, Incorporated.com. Give us a call.
Wonderful.
And you guys, I am so close from being 10K Twitter. If you guys could just go to @Debi Derryberry.
Do it!
@Debi Derryberry. It's spelled funky, DEBI, That would be awesome. Yeah, Instagram and Twitter and my Debi Derryberry World on Facebook. This close.
That was amazing. So I'm on Instagram and Twitter. I am Julie_Nathanson. Got to be fancy with the underscore. I'm really active on Twitter. I'm trying to be better on Instagram. I'm so much more words than pictures. But if you follow me on Twitter, you'll get some really odd humor and a lot of obscure words with which I am obsessed, some voice acting stuff, and a lot of messages about kindness.
Cool.
And pole dancing.
Okay, that's Debbie's parody account of me, apparently.
I made it up. I made that up.
I'm a little scared.
You can find me, my last name backwards, on Instagram and Twitter @Volobos. Please follow me.
That was very quick. You can find me at Actor Daniel Ross on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and my website is www.actordanielross.com. Please do follow me. I'm very close to a lot less than Debbie.
You can always get me at Stephen Glickman, STPHEN Glickman on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. If you get a chance to, check out thenighttimeshow.com. Our guests from last month were Tara Strong and Kari Payton together on stage, live on stage. AJ Michalka from Allie and AJ, Bruce Valanche, 6-time Emmy winner, and Robert Hayes from Airplane was on the show last month.
Yeah.
It's a really fun night.
That's all those people were in the same night. EG was on the 100th episode of our show. Bill's been on the show. I got to get the rest of you guys on the show now. And next month, April 27th, we have the Gin Blossoms performing on the show. So come check that out. It's thenighttimeshow.com. I love you guys so much. Thanks so much for having us.
Thanks,
ASIFA,
guys.
we love
Thank
you.
you so
Thank you,
much.
WonderCon. Hey, gosh, that sure was fun, huh? A lot of talented, wonderful people up on
It was awesome.
stage.
It's cool hearing them do all their voices and just drop in and out. That's always impressed me that they can just do it on a whim and then switch characters.
Yeah.
Like EG can do that. Like she just switch between them. Or Tara Strong did that a lot in her interview, where she just jumps from voice to voice, and that seems to me to be kind of hard. Like
there's a lot of, and what I love about this is that I didn't know any of the, I didn't know most of these people on this panel. But by the time it was over, I feel like I know all of them. They're all so friendly and so nice. They're so kind to everybody. I love these guys. Thanks, WonderCon, for having us, and ASIFA for setting this whole thing up. It's a lot of fun, and I hope we'll get to do more episodes like this soon on The Nighttime Show.
Yep.
Don't forget to subscribe and like and share and love and like.
And come out to see our next live show.
Yes.
April 27th?
Yes, at the Hollywood Improv.
With the Gin Blossoms.
That's a big deal. Yeah. Big deal. Love you guys. Thanks for listening.